This is my Tiger 900 GT Pro 2023 year model. I recently installed a third-party GPS device mounting bracket to replace the factory windscreen adjustment handle. This is my 5-inch Android Auto CarPlay device. Join me in this video as I install this device and the two cameras that came with it, as well as power supply to the rear auxiliary power socket. This is the Android Auto CarPlay multimedia device to install on my Tiger 900 GT Pro motorcycle. Although the Tiger 900 GT Pro already has the Triumph Bluetooth navigation system that connects to my Android phone, that Triumph navigation software is not user-friendly. It does not have the rich navigation features of Android Auto application. Let's unbox this and see what's inside. There's a user manual, motorcycle CarPlay Android Auto machine. Right on top is a bubble package, that's very good, which contains the 5-inch Android Auto CarPlay device. I like that. This is a very protective packaging. So this is the Android Auto 5-inch device. The model number is MT5003. It has 3 cables on the rear. This male plug is to 5V DC power supply. These 2 plugs with 4 pins in them, they are for the 2 high definition video cameras. So I like this, and I bought this device because it wasn't just a Android Auto device, but it comes supplied with 2 cameras as well, and I've always wanted that, so I can put one camera on the front of the motorbike and I can put a second camera on the rear of the motorbike rather than buying another camera system. They've got a protective screen on it. I will leave it on. On this side of the device, this is a waterproof rubber seal. If I pull this tab, it reveals a micro SD memory card slot. This device works with memory cards from a minimum size of 64 GB up to a maximum size of 256 GB. On this side of the tab, pulling it out reveals a USB-C connecting slot, and that's good because it's much better than a micro USB slot. This device consumes 5V 2 amps. The screen is a 5-inch IPS screen with a resolution of 854 by 480 pixels. It is a capacitive touch screen. On the rear of the device are 3 cables. This cable with the plug is to connect to a 5V power supply, and these 2 cables are to connect to the 2 video cameras supplied with this kit. The cameras are analog high definition 1080p. Let's see what else is in the box. This is the power supply. These 2 ends of the cable are to connect to 12 to 24V battery power supply. This would be the step down from 12 to 24V, converting it to 5V DC. And this is the socket which the plug on the Android device will plug into, and there's an alignment slot that allows these 2 to mate correctly. And when it's mated, there is a screw cap that can be screwed so that it secures the 2 ends of the connectors like that. This is a mounting bracket to fix to the back of the Android device. The part with the screw sits on top and mates into the screw hole at the top, and there are clip ends at the top and bottom. It's clipped in at the bottom and the top, and to make sure it doesn't drop out, just screw this in. This is one of the video cameras. It is analog high definition 1080p resolution. This is a similar camera with a longer cable to go to the rear of the motorcycle. The camera, the shorter cable, goes to the front of the motorcycle. With each camera kit, there's a double-sided adhesive tape to adhere this camera to a flat surface. Alternatively, there are 2 screws to screw the plate to a surface. As I mentioned, this is a identical camera with a longer cable to enable this camera to be installed at the rear of the motorcycle. The camera can tilt on one axis where there is a screw installed. These are the mounts. This plate with the knob will be fixed here. This is a packet of screws, Allen key, steel clamps, nuts and washers. I will need these screws and Allen key to install this plate to the back of this mounting plate. I'll apply Dynagrip thread locker, low strength, to the screw threads before I screw them in. Next screw. Third screw. Fourth and last screw. Okay, with all the 4 screws in, I can tighten them. That's good enough. Now here is a clamp. Can lock that in there, and this attachment goes to the other end of the clamp. So it would look like that. This curved end will be facing downwards in order to clamp to the round bar. I have here an accessory round bar to fit to my Tiger 900 GT Pro, where the windscreen adjustment handle mounts are located. See the description below for the video link to the installation of this attachment bar. It will go like that. I now need these U-shaped clamps, and there are 2 different sizes of clamp ends. This bigger one is for the 22mm tube. This smaller one is for the 12mm tube. So I will be using the bigger piece. It will go like that. This end piece should be turned upside down. Now how I'll fit this is go like that. There are also 2 different U-shaped clamps, a bigger one and a smaller one. The smaller clamp is for the 12mm tube. The bigger clamp is for the 22mm tube. So I'll be using this bigger clamp. This is how I will assemble the U-shaped clamp. With the U-shaped clamp kit, it comes with 2 nylock nuts and 2 end nuts. So what that means is that use the nylock nut first to tighten it to position, then finish off with the end caps so that there's no sharp threaded end exposed. So to assemble this U-shaped clamp, first I put the flat washer, then there's a spring washer, then there's the nylock nut, and once the nylock nut are fully tightened to secure the 2 clamp ends, I will put in these end caps. But for the moment, I will not tighten this because when I do install this system to the motorcycle, I want to be able to have this mounting bracket separate for easier installation. But for the moment, this is to demonstrate to you what it will look like. Before I install this system to the motorcycle, it is important to do a bench test where I connect all the components up and connect the device to a 12-volt battery. Power it up, make sure everything is working properly, make sure all the cameras are working properly, make sure all the wiring is working correctly. So let's start connecting all the components in this test bench. I do not think any of these methods, which is the front or the rear, is connected. It should not turn. On the socket end there is a little arrow, and on the plug end there is a little arrow, and to join the 2 correctly, these 2 arrows need to be pointing at each other. Now to connect the rear facing camera, find the arrow on the socket connector and find the arrow on the plug connector. Line the 2 arrows up and push it in. It will join easily. So I have the front camera and the rear camera. I will have the rear camera looking at the thread locker bottle. I will have the front camera looking at a set of screwdrivers. To provide power to the device, I have a 12-volt motorcycle battery. I have two sets of alligator clip connector cables. I will use these to connect the battery negative to the Android device negative and connect the positive terminal. I will also just take this up so that I do not accidentally short circuit this positive cable to the negative cable. Now I can connect the positive cable to the positive battery terminal. And you see that lights up. This is the bench test all connected up. Android Auto CarPlay device powered by a 12-volt battery, power passing through the 5-volt step-down transformer with two analog high-definition cameras pointing at two different objects. This being a touch screen, I can adjust the screen brightness as you can see. That's 18%. This is 100%. And volume, similarly, that's 5% volume, that's 100% volume. I'll keep the volume high and the brightness high as well. I will go to setting. There's phone, there's map night mode, screensaver, volume, key volume, phone audio, time setting, language, boot sound, format SD memory card, reset to factory settings, and version information. So it says AW84 LCD screen 854 by 480. This software was released 2023 July 05. So this is very recent. That's good. That's the Analog HD software version. That's the LCD screen version. Let me go to language. Yes, I have English. Let me go to time. It's year 2023, month August, day 11. And the time it says is 09 hours, 21 minutes, 30 seconds, zone plus 8 hours. I'll correct the zone first. I'm in zone plus 10 Greenwich Mean Time. That now brings the time to 11 hours, 21 minutes, 30 seconds. That's pretty good. Actually, I'm curious how this device acquired the date and time correctly because I've not connected it to my phone yet. I will investigate. I will confirm this setting is correct. I want 24-hour time representation. I have here a SanDisk Extreme 64GB micro SD card. The user manual says this device needs a minimum 64GB up to maximum 256GB. So let me try installing this 64GB card into the slot and see if it works. Go to settings. I'll format the SD card. If it can format it, it means it's reading the SD card. Confirm. There's nothing that says that it's finished. There's a circle spinning. Nothing that tells me whether it's completed. So if it has, that's not good that it doesn't tell me. It must have completed formatting because it seems to be recording the front high definition camera. And there's a symbol here, looks like a micro SD card symbol. Bluetooth is activated, there's Wi-Fi. So let me go back to settings. I got a phone. I do not have an Apple phone, I have an Android phone. So I will select Android Auto. So this icon here is simply to select whether I have an Android phone or an Apple phone. Let me see what map night mode is. It's presently off. Let me put it to on and see what that does. Put to off again. Screensaver is off. I'll keep screensaver off. Volume is high. Phone audio, let me put it on so I know what it does. Key volume, I'll keep it on. Boot sound, I'll keep it on. That's it for settings. So it says Android. I will change the Bluetooth name for this device I will call it Tiger 900 Android Auto. I've run out of letter select, but that will do. Android Auto, I'll know it means Android Auto. Confirm. I'll go to recorder, see what that shows. Here we are, that's the front facing camera pointing at the set of screwdrivers. Now how do I get the rearward camera? There we are. So this is the rearward camera, and to select between forward facing or rearward facing camera, I just push this arrow and that shows the main image is the forward facing camera with the rearward facing camera image inset. Press that again and it toggles it. The rearward facing camera is the main image with the forward facing camera inset. So looks like I can toggle it between having either one image only, forward facing camera, rearward facing camera. This FHD means full high definition, but it's analog high definition. I press this toggle again and it now shows the dual image. Again, the dual image, it goes back to the single image. That's acceptable. And it takes a snapshot of the image. That's to lock or unlock the image. That's to have the microphone at the cameras on or off. I'll leave them on. Now if I push on this button, it brings up the record settings. If I push on resolution, there are three choices: FD, FHD and QFHD. Now I know these cameras are definitely 1080p analog full HD, so it makes sense that FHD is selected. I'm guessing that FD below means 720p. QFHD, I suspect 2160p resolution. That would make sense if there were QFHD cameras available that could be attached to this Android Auto device. That would be my understanding of what this sub-menu means. Close this. Loop recording. Let me make loops 5 minutes. Frequency, I will use auto frequency. Date watermark, I will leave date watermark on. Channel set, so this is the ability to flip and mirror the images in the front and back cameras. I'll keep the default. Recording set, I don't know what recording set is. I'll leave it on as the default. Go back to the main menu. I click on the Android icon. It says open the device Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The first connection of the phone needs to manually connect to Bluetooth. Wait for the box select to use the car function. Gee, that is pretty bad English. I want to now connect this Android Auto device to my Android phone. I'll click the Bluetooth icon. It says Bluetooth switch is on. That's good. On my phone, I'll go to connections. I'll click Bluetooth on. And see if the phone identifies this Android Auto Bluetooth device. Here we are. Available devices, Tiger 900 Android Auto. Click on that. Says pairing. Bluetooth pairing request, pass key, pair with Tiger, yes. That's good, that's connected. This has changed the screen. It says Android Auto connected to your car. So, excellent. So that's worked. This Android Auto device is now connected to my phone by Bluetooth. You can see on this Android Auto it's receiving news information. And this is Google Map view from my phone. What I've done so far is pair this Android Auto device to my Android phone as well as connect them. I've also connected my Fritcon motorcycle Bluetooth headset to my Android phone. I did a test making a call from this by selecting a phone number through this Android Auto device, and I was able to hear the call, pick up the call, and talk to the person through my headset. So everything comes through the phone. That's good, this works. But I must say the instruction documentation is very poor. So I had to try different things to make this work. What is strange is that when this Android Auto device is connected to my Android phone, it shows that it's using a Wi-Fi connection, but these two devices are definitely connected. That icon is for settings. That's to make phone calls, that's to get podcast news, and this is the Google Map. So if I push on the setup icon, it goes to settings, and this same menu appears in the Android phone as well under the Android Auto application configuration. So the settings I've chosen are here, where for instance always start Android Auto automatically, show first line of conversations, play conversation chime. I do not want to play music. Day and night wallpaper. Day and night mode for maps, it's automatic. Every time I go back up the menus, it shows the top of the settings menu, so that's not very friendly. I don't know what electric vehicle settings are. If I push this button here, it goes back to the general menu. That's it. This bench test shows that the system works, but as I said, it is not a very user-friendly interface. Nevertheless, the main things I want it for are the Google Map and making the phone calls, and this works. So join me in the next step where I install this system to my Tiger 900 motorcycle. One thing I want to add is I want to connect it to power that is ignition switch, so that it's not connecting directly to the battery terminals but to a switched or relay power that turns on only if the motorcycle ignition is on. To do that, I'll be using this Merit or Hella plug and fixing these two wires to these two terminals. This will enable me to plug into the rear auxiliary power socket on the motorcycle. That means that this Android Auto can be turned off when the ignition is off and on when the ignition is on. Lastly, I want to mention a feature on this mounting kit that I like. So to remove this Android Auto device and take it with me when I park the motorcycle in a public space, all I have to do is, first of all, disconnect the power cable, disconnect the two video camera cables, then unscrew this and lightly flick and release the Android device from the mount. The rest of the mount can stay on the motorcycle. The problem I see is this mounting plate, this ball joint clamps can be easily removed by a thief without any tools, simply by turning the knob and taking that away. And if the thief is a bit more dedicated, maybe the thief will undo the nuts. And of course, the thief can undo the bolts here as well. To minimize the risk of theft, I have this ram mount lockable ball joint clamp. It is key lockable. I also have this bar clamp, and I cut some rubber spacers so that it will fit this 22mm bar. And importantly, the two screws to clamp these two ends together, they are security Torx screws. So there's a center pin, and to tighten or loosen these security Torx screws, I have this security Torx driver bit. So when I have that ball joint attached to the bar, I then attach this lockable ball joint clamp, and I attach the Android Auto device, and I hand tighten the ball joint clamps until it is tight. Then I use the key and then turn the key clockwise 360 degrees, pull the key out, and that detaches this turn knob from the spindle. So this means the clamp can't be released. Done as much as I can to hinder theft of the system.